Being posted?
Yes. Commission will now take up matters to do with applications for special one-day licenses, alcoholic beverages, for the beer and wine only, or either one. Jeffrey D. Prescott of the Merrimack Repertory Theater for scheduled theatrical performances, concession, sales, service 30 minutes prior to the performance and during a 15-minute intermission. There are 19 dates in total, starting with tonight, October the 16th, and running through November the 9th. Also, Tom McKay of Backstage Concessions, Colleen McDonald is representative. For Wednesday, October 29th, 2008, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event is the Distinguished Alumni Awards Dinner, to be held at the Cyrus W. Irish Auditorium, Lowell High School, 50 Father Morrisett Boulevard. As it pertains to this event, the Superintendent of Schools, Chris Scott, had notified the headmaster, Mr. Samaras, that the Lowell School Committee had voted to approve the use of alcohol at this scheduled event, and the school committee had voted on September the 17th, 2008.
All right, for the record, please introduce yourself into the microphone.
My name is Jeffrey D. Prescott. I represent the Merrimack Repertory Theater over here in Lowell.
Carleen McDonald, Lowell Auditorium.
Okay, and I know you've been here before. Have you ever been in front of us to get a license?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, so good. I don't have to give Chairman Bayless's canned speech that you've all heard. With that.
Make a motion to approve the license.
Second, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Commission will now take up the matter to do with applications for public amusement licenses. For an event scheduled at the Songus Arena, Robert Fody is the arena representative for the SMG Songus Arena. This concert is for the Rock Band Live. It's Panic at the Disco and Dashboard Confessional. This will be for Wednesday, October 29, 2008, from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight. Also for scheduled shows and concerts at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, Colleen McDonald is the representative. A concert, Michael W. Smith, Steve Curtis Chapman, for Wednesday, October 29th, from 7:30 to 11. Show, The Last Comic Standing, for Thursday, October 30th, 2008, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's two shows for Disney Playhouse for Friday evening, November the 7th, or Friday afternoon and evening, November 7th, 2008, a 3 p.m. start and a 6:30 p.m. start. Also a show, Ron White, for Saturday, November 15th. There are two shows scheduled for 7:30 in the evening and 10 p.m. for November 15th. Concert, Jason Aldean, for Thursday, November 20th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Concert, Dark Star Orchestra, for Friday, November 21st, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. There'll be two shows for Annie, Friday, November 28th, one that starts at 3 p.m., the second at 7 p.m., and also two shows for concert for the Boston Pops for Saturday, December 20th, starts 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. start.
Okay, please, for the record, introduce yourselves.
Robert Fody from the Songus Arena.
Carleen McDonald, Lowell Auditorium.
All right, I know you guys have both been here on several occasions. Have we had any complaints to deal with any of their venues? No. Okay, well, in that, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Commission will now take up an application by Sangria's Inc. Michael J. Doyle is the president, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 177-179 Central Street, for a change in the business name from Sangria's Bar and Grill to Mickey's Bar and Grill.
Please, for the record, introduce yourself.
Mike Doyle, owner of Sangria's Inc.
Okay. And had the opportunity to stop by. I'd like to redo.
Thank you.
You're just changing the name, that's it, correct?
We're changing the name, it's all about the food side of the business. We're changing the entire menu and the kitchen staff and the kitchen.
People running the place on a day-to-day basis, you and your managers are the same people.
Same people.
Pretty responsible crowd. All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the name change.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So, Mr. Commissioners, this will just be sent to the ABC to let them be aware of the situation.
All right.
Thanks.
Indoor rainfall? Soothing sounds of rain coming in through the window?
Commission will now take up the matter to do an application by Henry W. Garrity of Lowell for a license to buy and sell secondhand articles for premises at 210 Middlesex Street.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Henry Garrity. I live at 48 Fairfield Street here in Lowell, and I'm looking for a secondhand license at 210 Middlesex Street. Just like to say, my first license with the city was in 1977, and I've more or less had a secondhand license continuously since then, till 2006.
Okay.
What happened in 2006?
I sold my building on Fletcher and Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this 210 Middlesex Street?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that located?
Directly across from the shelter, the big brick building there.
Okay.
All right. Anything from the police department?
No, nothing on Mr. Garrity's former location or nothing I'm aware of in this new location either.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're going to represent that you're aware of all the requirements as far as reporting any secondhand items that are being sold? Okay, and no problems with that in the past, or that we're aware of?
No, no problems before.
Is the building rehabbed, or what's the quality of the building that this is going into?
It's presently apartments upstairs.
Okay.
And also on the first floor is the Spanish restaurant.
Okay.
And then there's some empty storefronts, and there's the other storefront on the far right.
Okay, and do you own the building, or are you
No,
leasing
I
it?
don't own the building, no. Helen Dunnigan owns the building.
Okay. You don't have to provide a copy of the lease. I have no problem.
Well, members of the commission, I'm well acquainted with Mr. Garrity. He's been licensed at several locations over the last 30 years, and his record is above reproach as far as licensing is concerned.
All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the license.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All set?
Good luck to you.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so as far as further matters to do with the License Commission this afternoon, we have applications for beer and wine package store licenses, two, in fact. One, Pratna Inc., doing business as Pratna's Convenience Store for premises at 408 Suffolk Street. Also, Mama Jason's Inc. for premises at 558 Gorham Street. Both matters could be heard for the next scheduled meeting, which would be for Thursday, November the 6th, which requires legal notices to be published, and that would be taken care of as far as legal notices for Friday, October the 24th, a week from tomorrow. There is also another application for a transfer of a beer, all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license from Charlie's Pot of Gold, DBA Charlie's. Charles D. Gill is the manager, presently at 14 Cabot Street. Individual is the manager of a limited liability company, Pub Ram at Charlie's LLC, Roland A. Manville, manager. Also, that could be advertised for public hearing. Likewise, as far as October 24th, public hearing, legal notice, and hearing on the November 6th.
The one on Cabot Street is staying at the same location, just change in ownership?
That's correct.
Okay.
As far as the applications, I'm just wondering, I think on November 6th, we already have, it's on, I hit the button. We already have a hearing scheduled for the Dubliner. My guess is there may be another one scheduled for that day, and I believe there's a third hearing already on for the 6th on another restaurant whose name escapes me. So just from a scheduling standpoint, I point that out. If you want to put it on the 6th, that's fine. I would have just suggested maybe the following meeting, but I'm just pointing that out to you for whatever that's worth.
Well, the circumstances are that these applications, of which, in dealing with the principals involved or attorneys who represent the principals, all of whom seem to wish to have the opportunity to be heard, the earliest opportunity, which would be November 6th. Matters to do with complaints, there is one complaint already being scheduled for public hearing. It's been scheduled for public hearing, and that's to do with the restaurant on Middlesex Street. For the moment, it escapes my mind.
Palin.
Palin Restaurant, yes, excuse me, thank you. Yeah, Palin Restaurant is scheduled for the hearing on November 6th on a complaint. We also have, as far as this afternoon, communications, one being from the Superintendent of Police, Ken LaValle, in reference to the Dubliner, a most recent matter to do with the after-hours activity. Conceivably, that could be heard as early as November the 6th, even keeping in mind the preference of the board being notifying licensees 14 days.
Right.
Okay. You certainly would have a full agenda for the next scheduled meeting. Make up for what you're doing today.
Exactly.
I'm not doing today.
We scheduled all the easy stuff for the day that Chairman Bayless was going to be away.
We're gonna be lifting for Walter.
We like him to actually.
I only feel, you know, that the parties to do with these alcohol licenses, it's not easy sometimes when they know they want that opportunity. Mr. Gill, in fact, who owns Charlie's up at 14 Cabot Street, apparently has a way of conveying himself to the principal involved with buying the business, and he wants sooner than later, so it's just a...
I mean, I don't have an issue with having them all heard that day.
Well, earn our paychecks, right? Okay. Yeah, I'll put them on for that day. Why not? We'll put them on for, well, it's
November 6th.
November 6th. Is that the
Yeah.
soonest they can be scheduled for? Or is the first day?
That's the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't be meeting
Okay,
until
yeah.
November 6th, according to the schedule.
Put
And
'em
so
on.
these applications, the lapse in time between today's meeting and the next meeting is long, and usually it's less than about 10 days. We usually meet every 10 days or thereabouts
Right.
between meetings.
Well, and I can understand why, from their perspective, they'd rather get the votes voted on, because it would still need to go down to Boston for approval, and they're hoping that they could get it back out of Boston by the new year, is my
Well,
guess.
certainly, that's a concern now with the governor's decision to cut his portion of the budget. That may have some bearing on the ABC, I don't know, but certainly the Department of Revenue. The ABC falls under the state treasurer. Whether he will do something in reference to that, I'm not sure, as far as cutting. Anyways, the short of it is, the bureaucracy can be very difficult at times.
All right. I'll just put them on
Put
for
'em
the
on.
6th.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. As far as communications are concerned, as I said, Superintendent of Police has a communication dated October the 10th, 2008, allegation of misconduct against Tyler Perry Corp., doing business as the Dubliner, 197 Market Street. Laureen Lucier is the manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 197 Market Street. If you wish, you could hear that as early as November 6th.
All right, let's put it on for a hearing, the 14-day notice.
There is a communication from Gerald Jarek of the Lowell Police, Greater Lowell Polish National Home Association, commonly known as the Domposki, which is dated October 6, 2008, and it's addressed to Lieutenant Rowan of the Centerville Police Precinct of the Lowell Police Department. He's complaining about patrons of Sea Spot Bar and Grill at 171 Lakeview Avenue. And there are some pictures I have from him outside the establishment in reference to the just a sense of what they have to clean up afterwards around the Domposki, on the sidewalk, and in the parking lot adjacent to the club. Apparently, Mr. C Spot has a business of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. And on those nights, some of their patrons have pretty much give the business, the club across the street, some of their patrons a hard time. Or at least, if you confront them on issues, they, according to Mr. Jarek. Anyways, he asked that that communication be put on file and for your consideration. Also, communication from Dacio Andrade, who's a residential property owner. From what I understand, near on Union Street in Lowell, he's suggesting that the board consider hours reduction on the Santoro sub shop at 194 Gorham Street. And the Massachusetts State Lottery Commission has let it be known that they're considering Buck's Bar and Grill, 165 Chelmsford Street, as a venue for Keno license. And last but not least is the Lowell District Court notice that a patron of Charlie's allegedly was operating a motor vehicle, or had been arrested for driving under the influence, and was claiming that she had last been served at a Charlie's at 14 Cabot Street, but that's only alleged, so.
That we're all done, huh?
By the way, there is also the matter to do with Mr. Paul Galakis, who owns Scenics Auto Sales, with regards to his issue with the Registry of Motor Vehicles and his record keeping.
Has he cleaned that up yet, do we know? Or is that?
Well, he's to come before you on November 6th
Right.
to tell you he has, but
Let's hope he has.
Is there any way to
That's
check
certainly plenty of
that, or
time.
is it just
Yeah,
through-
supposed to
through
bring us a
his-
letter,
well, I think
if I
the
recall.
person who manages the records for the registry was very quick to respond to the notice to Mr. Galakis after the last meeting. So that person is, I'm sure, once I send out a reminder to Mr. Galakis and CC the manager at the registry, I'm sure there'll be some response to that as to whether there is a satisfactory compliance.
great?
Okay. Let me just ask, on the police side, with this complaint that we have here from the Dom Polsky, I think one of the allegations made in here is that patrons are seen leaving the bar with alcohol. Have we gotten any of those calls in?
I checked the call record this afternoon, when I saw that this was on the agenda. We've only received 2 calls to C-Spot at 171 Lakeview Ave since January 1st. Both of those calls were on August 30th, one for a fight and one for a disturbance. I didn't know the complaint was coming from the Don Polsky, so I didn't check their address. Maybe we would have discovered a few more calls that were logged under that address, but as far as police activity at 171 Lakeview Ave, only 2 calls on one day so far. But that's not to say that the complaint isn't justified. Maybe
Yeah,
we
no,
just didn't receive a call on it.
And just, maybe we could have a couple more patrols by there on those Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights and see if people are, and if they're exiting the premises with bottles of beer in their hand and smashing them on the ground, that's certainly a license violation if they're only licensed to serve on the premises as opposed to takeaway.
Absolutely, we'll take care of that.
Great.
Thank you, Red.
I guess I have a question for the law department. This letter requesting action on hours for a common victualer's license, is that within our purview, or is that outside? Is that set by state law?
That is, or that would be an open question, that I think there's only one case on point, but said, you know, it is within the License Commission's discretion to set certain parameters. So it could be done.
All right.
But there's just the one letter. There's no request from the...
None?
Well, let's ask the police. With Santoros, how many complaints have they had since January 1st, 2008?
I don't have that information with me. There's, excuse me, been several calls there. I know that this past weekend, the management at Santoros voluntarily closed at 2 a.m. In an effort to do what they could to address the problem.
I know, when I went looking for food, they were closed. So,
I don't know if that's going to continue or not. I know, I had heard the owner was going to evaluate how that affected his business, and possibly continue with those closing hours.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we could take that up at the next meeting too, if we feel that
If
there's
it's an
been
issue, yeah.
more complaints, or if the police have an issue with the hours. But right now, it doesn't appear that the police department has an issue, because they've reached an agreement with Santoros to roll back the hours from 4 AM to 2 AM. And they're voluntarily doing that, so
Yeah, I
we
mean-
could see how that goes and then decide what we want to do.
I know, it's cutting into my after evening snacking. I mean, they make a very good Italian sub, and if you can't get that at 2:30, you have to go to bed hungry. So, I
What-
know, it doesn't look like I miss a lot of meals, but, you know, usually on the weekends. All right, with that, anything else we want to cover?
I'm good, I'm good.
Anything, gentlemen? Not only do we not have Chairman Bayless, we don't have Mark Goldman.
I know.
All right, with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.